Zoom. Sal's a CME Group floor member. He's been actively trading for 25 years. He's going to be stepping in shortly. When he steps in, he'll take over the mic. When he takes over the mic, he'll give out his proprietary scalping levels and zones. Right now it is 9:23 a.m. on Thursday, February 18th, 2021. Everything we do here is for educational purposes only. Nothing is to be taken as direct trading advice. You're trading at risk between you and your broker, or at your own risk between you and your broker. If you like what we're doing here, tell your friends. If you're coming in from the outside, join us on the inside in Zoom. Hey, Dean, good morning. Hey, Chak, still haven't heard from you. I'd like to. Hey, Maureen, good morning. MW, let me know if you are tuned in properly. You should see a series of 3 charts in a separate chart window. 2 S&P 500 E-mini charts that are broken down into time frames, a 5-minute and a 1-hour. And then we have a 30-minute bond chart. You know, for people that are coming in as a guest, put up an S&P 500 E-mini chart. Hey, Dan, good morning. Hey, HD. Hey, Warren, good morning. Hey, Uzi, I tried to reach out to you yesterday. Did you sign up for Sal's Monthly? And again, if I don't hear from people, the bot's just going to disconnect you, and I'm not sure you want that to happen. So make sure you respond so I can call off the bot. Same thing with you, Jack. Hey, Warren, good morning. And anybody wants to transition to Sal's Intensive, let us know if you're part of the family. Hey, Uzi, did you sign up for Sal's Monthly? And Jack, I still need to hear from you. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe you're not connected properly. Uzi, I'll send it out to you now so you can get it done. I gave you a special opportunity there. It's like a donut and a cup of coffee. Just want to make sure that you're okay. Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve, let me know if you've signed up for Sal's Monthly. I'll send it out to you too. Hey, Uzi, no problem. I don't want you to miss out. It's like, it's just out of respect. Respect for you, respect for Sal. The intensive is where first you got to become part of the family, which I think I sent you that out already, Mohammed. Um, Steve, I just sent it out to you. Did you get it? It's a chat in GoToWebinar. I'm just GoToWebinar in Zoom. Okay, that's a special opportunity for you. Mohammed, you have yours, and then we can talk about. Sal has a opportunity for people that are part of the family to work with him privately and personally, and we can talk about that. Just take care of this first so I can make sure you're okay. Hey, Chak, still haven't heard from you. I'm gonna have to disconnect you. I don't want to do that. It's painful for me to do that. I've got to unplug the bot to save you.
All right, good morning, everyone. Can everybody hear me all right?
I can hear you.
All right. All right, fantastic. Let's give you our levels for this morning and and go from there. Our pivot this morning is 38.99. 38.99. Resistance at 39.08, 16, 24, 30, 36. Support below at 93, 84, 77, 69, and 60. Pivot 99, support 93, 84, 77, 69, and 60. Resistance on the upside at 08, 16, 24, 30, and 36. All right, we are trading mini S&Ps here. We are scalping the market. Got a little bit of volatility going on here. I think the interesting part about this trade going forward is going to be the bond market, as it continues to yields uptick and bonds go down, and might becoming a little bit of a burden on the market at some decent close moment. I don't know. It just seems like yields slowly are upticking, and I think the market might be at some point very soon starting to concern itself with the consequences of higher interest rates. But I think the Fed, and its wisdom of fiscal policy, is going to try to keep it, a monetary policy is going to try to keep it kind of low. In our education course, you are taught how to find the support and resistance areas, and also taught the price action opportunities that occur. Any levels that we give out, it's a taught experience in our education course. Our monthly membership is just to keep everybody kind of keep the machines working, so to speak. It's just a matter of making sure you keep the room open. We have minimal. It's a minimal amount to pay for levels. It's a minimal amount to pay for the room to trade, to have charts in front of us. In case some of you don't have charts, you can use our charts. So that's just the monthly. If you want to take your level of trading to another point, then you could probably, and then the education course is where you'd want to go. And again, any levels that I say, any price action opportunities that I have, or anything that I might be hinting at as far as the trade is concerned, is a taught experience, and we teach it in our education course. And the goal of the education course is for you to find these levels and the opportunities, the setups, and the price action opportunities on your own, so that you can become an independent trader and try to take advantage of these ebbs and flows that we see, because we don't believe markets go straight up or straight down. We believe they bounce a little bit, so we're trying to find those inflection points that create opportunities for us to scalp the market and to make, depending on volatility, right now our stops maybe about 2 or 3 points, and our profit targets are about that. So that's where we're at. And again, anything that we do here is a taught experience. Anything that I talk about, and I work with each person individually, so that we can maximize your profit target, because everybody's got different risk tolerances. All right. So again, any of this stuff interests you, Steve or Uzi, Brad will, if you put your telephone and contact information, and nobody else can see it, Brad will be able to contact you and talk to you about it, and discuss, what any of this stuff how it'll help, and where we can go with it. So If you put your contact information down there, we'll get back to you. Like a telephone number, I guess, is a good
Hey,
contact.
Sal, I just want to make a comment. The opportunity to go and talk about Sal's intensive or those opportunities are for individuals that are part of Sal's family, the ones that have signed up and paid the nominal fee for his monthly, which I sent out to Uzi, which is great, and I also sent it out to Steve. So certainly put your information in there. Take a moment to sign up for Sal's monthly, which I gave you the link for, and become part of the family, and then we can move things forward. And that's
All right.
it. Thank you.
There you go.
And if you need the link again, let me know.
All right. So can we have the levels in the chat box printed up in case you missed the levels? There they are. The levels are, again, the levels are used as a guide for the day to help us start the day, to find the opportunities. We don't know if we're going to run through some of these. We don't know if these are going to work or not. We know that we're going to be able to use them as a guide to, oh, thank you there, Mohammed, as a guide for us to trade and to try to find these levels so that we can try to scalp the market. And remember, everybody's got different risk tolerances. So nobody's the same here. We have reasons why you take trades. We have reasons why you don't take trades. We have reasons why you cancel trades. We have reasons why you minimize your risk. And we have sometimes reasons why you increase your risk. These are all taught, and we try to maximize each individual's risk tolerances with the market so that you can maximize profits. That's all we're trying to do. Okay, that makes sense, HT. I think there is backup there, so it's doable.
Hey, Mohammed, are you on Skype at all? Do you have a Skype name? Because we can always speak on Skype if you want to do that. And Peter, let me know what you're doing. And Uzi, let me know what you're doing as far as sign up for Sal's monthly. And Mohammed, also, I sent it to you, just so you know. You've got it. So sign up for that also. Thank you.
All right, popping up here a little bit. A little resistance to the 08 area. So again, I think one of the concerns that the market is going to have, and maybe putting a little bit of pressure on the market, is the continued acceleration of interest rates, which we haven't really discussed in God knows how long. It's never become an issue, but because of how the markets have been reacting lately and what the bond market is doing. And then you also have, gas prices are going up because oil's going up, and oil's going up because of the inclement weather around the United States and around everywhere. I think we're getting crazy weather everywhere. Shutting down some production of oil and gas down in the Gulf, and that's creating obviously some shortages of gas and oil, and creating the oil market to pop a little bit. And we popped a little bit, and we got drifted up to 6, come back down. We have 8. We had 8. We still have 8. Nice rotation there. If you took our blue band there, blue band did get in the way. I know. I'm sorry, Don. The blue band got in the way again. Sorry about that. But nice rotation there if you took the blue band opportunity there. Again, we have multiple setups that we have. A lot of them depend on No, we would be short against that initially. We have multiple opportunities that occur, and really the number of trades that somebody or each individual can put on depends on the risk tolerances that they might have, and you know, and that differs with everybody here. So if you trade a lot, or if you want to trade a lot, and you want to have many reasons to trade, we have them. Believe me, I can show you a ton of reasons to trade. There's all kinds of opportunity there for different risk tolerances, so that you can find the right amount of trades for you, because that's important. All right, again, the blue band, nice trade there. If you did get in, obviously a little short against the blue band initially. Nice rotation off of that. Coming back down here to the pivot area. Again, we had 08, and drifted up to 6, and then came back off of it. All right, so nice trade there if you did partake. Can we repeat the levels for today in the chat box area? And as soon as we get 5G, right, for technology in the cell phone world, Apple aims to lead 6G cellular technology development. That's the headline today. Apple aims to lead 6G cellular technology development. I mean, 6G, what are they? I mean, do we even have to do anything, or can we just lay it in our couch and the phone will do everything for us? Wow, we go from the highs back here quickly down to the lows against our 93 area there. If you got in, maybe some of you got in against our 93 area. And a nice quick rotation there off of the 93 area. If you got long at 94, some of you might have got long there at 94. A quick 2 points off of that pop. Again, we are counter trending, so you have to take some profits. We don't know when these levels are going to be a nice low or a high. We've had those. If you're going to try to stay long, have a trailing stop with some of these things so that you don't you don't lose money on it. And you also have to be trading multiple contracts to be able to take advantage of being able to find a nice high or low and to take advantage of it and to eke out more than a couple points. All right, so if you did get in there at the 93 area, again, we scale in because we're not perfect. Obviously, we're not perfect. It got down to 3.5, 94. Depends how you scale in. Everybody scales in differently. So once that happened and the rotation happened, you have to respect that. Now the 93 here, again, nice little, it's holding on very tightly there to it. Got filled on the lower end too now. All right, so nice rotation there off of our 93 area. Again, 2 to 3 point stop with a 2 to 3 point profit target. We're getting those, and again, we missed our top entry point by just a couple, about a point and a half there. It's kind of a little frustrating, but what can we do? We're not going to be perfect all the time. Again, we're trying to find these inflection points. If you look at the chat box area, the levels are there for you. These are levels that we use as a guide for the day, and then we try to go off of that depending on what the price action is, because we don't know how the market's going to play itself out day to day. We don't know if it's going to rally, going to break, or we try to take advantage of both ends of it. That's all we're trying to do, right? We're just trying to trade and try to find these areas where the markets will give us a little bit of a bounce to take advantage of the opportunity. And this was a perfect example of support down in 93 and a nice rotation off of that 93 level. You easily got a few extra points out of it here now, and now it probably takes some profits right here if you still happen to be long. All right, so nice little trade there if you got in. Again, this is what we try to do here. We're just trying to take advantage if you're trading futures, right? That's what this is, and we're trying to. And if you've ever traded before, it's great. If you kind of understand what's going on, and you like what we do, we try to add to your repertoire of trading skills and setups. We have a lot of experienced traders here who have joined us and taken the course with us so that they can expand their repertoire and add more setups and different ideas. I'm always learning stuff. It's not like I am closed to learning new information from different traders that I trust and been around for a while. And so you can always learn new stuff. That's what, if you're an experienced trader and you're here and you think you can, you think that we can't help you at all. And if you're new to this, it's even better because you're not, you don't have like weird stuff in your head about trading. You're just learning. Sometimes it's very hard to unlearn something that you've been taught that you think is supposed to be good. So we're here. We're both. We got new traders and experienced traders. It's a nice group of traders that trade in this trading room, which we do every day. We used to do this from the Florida Exchange, but COVID has turned everything on its head, and so we're downstairs in my dungeon, my basement. It's quiet down in here. It's warm these days. It's a good thing. How's Texas there, Don? I mean, are you getting like this cold? You still have electricity, right? My friend Don is in Texas in the midst of this terrible situation that's going on down there, where they don't have enough. Whatever. Got all of a sudden the fact that they're losing electricity became very political down there in Texas. It's cold down there. Oh, you mean you're getting some of our? Actually, we're getting some of your cold weather. It's coming up north. Can you keep it down there? Keep it away from us a little bit, please. Or maybe our north is going down to the south. I don't know. But your snow is coming up here, that's for sure. It's going to hit the East Coast like today and tomorrow, I think. Crazy weather, crazy. All right. Nice rotation there off of our 93. Again, we suggested maybe get out. That would have been a nice target around even. What's the temperature in Chicago? Well, at this very moment, it's actually very warm. It's 21 degrees. That's as hot as it's been here for quite a long time. The low this morning was 9, though, but this is pretty good for us. Very excited about how they're saying it's going to be 40 on Thursday here. I mean, we need some of this snow to melt. It snowed last night too. There's like an inch of snow out there. I mean, it snowed 10 days in a row here in Chicago. We've got like huge amounts of buildup of. There's no place to put the snow. If we get another storm, that's pretty bad. But 40 degrees by middle of the week next week. Looking forward to that. I'll tell you that much. 80 in Florida. Yeah, thanks, Max. Thanks for letting me know that it's 80 and the heat sucks here. Oh, jeez. And my California friend is going to say, "Oh, I'm going to go to the beach today." They are expecting more snow on Sunday, but the temperature is going to be around 30. So it's and then the next day, um, the high is going to be 34. So it'll that's what you get in like March, where if it does snow, you get one snow day, and then the next day it melts it all away. But lunch at the beach for my California friend. Down there, the heat is too much for Florida guys. California is lunch at the beach. It's a tough life you guys live. I'm sure somebody from someplace so warm is going to say something else soon. We don't have anybody from Hawaii. Yeah, I have to admit, we have somebody from the other side of the pond. We have a lot of people from the other side of the pond, and we have a lot of people all over the United States. We don't have anybody down in Hawaii. I guess, was it like 3 o'clock in the morning? I got to be tough to trade if I'm down in Hawaii at 3 o'clock in the morning. I bet you don't have a lot of traders down there. I mean, you could, but well, Don says that he has power and it's cold, so it's funny. Maureen, it is true. I mean, Chicago is like endless. The temperature. I mean, it varies, right? I mean, you get. I have golfed on in February a couple of years ago. So yeah, we are, and this is the most snow we've gotten here in years. We've been very quiet as far as that is concerned. All right, a blue band there, a nice rotation off of that. Again, nice rotation off of our blue band. Seems to kind of work. We like it the first time to it, though. It was a little bit more trickier second time to it, but it is keeping the market on the downside here. You think we're not trading, but we are. We're trading on in the background. I mean, I talk, but I also got stuff in the order book waiting for me to get triggered, and then I work it and I put my orders in there to get out, put my orders to stop. I mean, they have to be in there for me to do what I'm doing. So yeah, so a nice rotation there off of our blue band, and we're still looking for the 08, maybe 09, a little bit better this time around if we get back up there. So somewhere in that range. Let's see if we have any news coming out today. We did have today Thursday, yeah, initial claims come out. Fed speaks. Everybody's interested in Fed speaks because of what's going on with the bond market. Again, I think we're going to start hearing more about the bond market, especially we got a 159 handle. We're going to hear a lot more about the bond market. Let's see. No, nothing coming out. We got housing permits, initial claims, a lot of numbers this morning, but nothing like a 9 o'clock here. So nothing for us to be concerned about. We don't like to trade when there are numbers to be released. there's nothing today. Yeah, I mean that's the thing about the thing that concerns most people right now in Texas is not so much of it's gonna warm up, but it's the people that don't have. I mean, still 27 for a low is still cold, and everything's everything's a little bit tough out there right now. With especially if you don't. I mean, if you have a 1/3 of the population, right? I said it was 4 million people that had no electricity out of the 12 million that live in Texas. That's a lot. That's huge. That's ridiculous, actually. And Texas is that big. It's a lot of. It's a lot. It's a big country. It's a country there down there in Texas. Don, they want to know which part of Texas are you in? Um, I would venture to say northeast, but I'm not exactly sure. He'll let us know. Dan, are you from Texas? No. So I was very close. The southeast part of Texas, the lower right hand side. Yeah, I was absolutely wrong. Southeast part of Texas. That's where Don's from. All right, we're hanging around our pivot here, so absolutely, we had a nice little opportunity down at the downside support, which worked very, very nicely. Hopefully, you should have been able to make a little. You didn't even come close to getting stopped out, and hopefully, some of you made some money against our support level there at 93. Support level would mean buy, right? Support, buy, resistance, sell. So maybe you partook in that trade and bought that opportunity as we're kind of a little range bound here for the last few hours. So we'll wait. Upside resistance there is at 08 because we got up to 6. Maybe it's a little bit more tenuous. Maybe I'd look at the 9, 10 area, maybe a little bit of an adjustment to the upside. Maybe you take them all depending on how you're scaling in. Maybe you lower your level of risk. Maybe it's if you're trading multiple contracts, lower the risk down and maybe scale in a little bit differently in case we get a little bit of a pop there above the 6 area. Either way, you have choices to make adjustments to levels and even to the point where you can say, okay, I'm going to not take the level because it's a little bit riskier. All of those things are legitimate reasons to either trade the level, adjust the level, don't trade the level. And everybody here has got different risk tolerances, right? So that's important to know and to realize because not everybody's the same. And I think the reason the bond market here well, the reason these S&Ps here are lower is they're starting to look at the yields on the bonds so there's a bit of a concern here. Like I said, they can. I mean, we're down and the S&Ps are down. That doesn't usually happen, but again, like I've been, I'm starting to tell you that we got to look at the bond market now to start cueing us into what the S&Ps might be doing. Until the Fed comes in there and starts to throw more money into the market, then they'll pop it back up a little bit. They seem to have been doing that lately. We'll see. And that's a little bit of a concern here for the market. This is from Don in Texas. This part of the world is not built for this cold weather. And then you add no power, then you have pipes freezing, and people go nuts on top of all of that. It's true. I mean, the people just not, your pipes are bursting because, you don't, we're in the Midwest. We know how to insulate our pipes so that they don't. I mean, even then they still bust. And a lot of homes and the infrastructure is not built for very cold weather like that down in Texas. And well, maybe they have to make some changes down there. That's all. You never know. I mean, that's what it seems like might be happening. No, I'm not selling the 03 short there, unless you are. What does the Fed do to control the stock market? Well, they've been doing it for quite a long time there, but with monetary policy. They've been doing a lot of quantitative easing. They're expanding their balance sheet, buying a lot of bonds. When you buy bonds, you're throwing money into the market. You're trying to keep money cheap, interest rates down low. Markets, equity markets like interest rates low. And the Fed artificially keeps rates low and keeps liquidity high by doing quantitative easing, doing bond buying, doing a whole bunch of tricks that they have to add liquidity back to the market. And liquidity being thrown at the market creates inflation. Creates higher interest rates at some point. And then but liquidity creates inflation is where I'm going with this. And consequently, the bond market is a little sensitive to inflation. At least it hasn't been an issue for many, many a year. It's still relatively slight. I mean, you've had inflation numbers come out this week, and they've been a little bit higher. And I think the bond market is a little sensitive to it, but the Fed, again, with their monetary policy, does a lot to help stock market. I mean, in the 2008, when the market was crashing, they were buying. They were trying to sustain the market by buying, and they bought a lot down at the lows, and they made a good chunk of change, But they have an endless amount of. They don't have margin calls down at the Fed. Oh, buying bonds, not the place to be right now. That's not the place to be. But they buy bonds because there's a secondary bond market. The bond market that when the banks go out there and they put together a slew of mortgages that are going to, they're lending money to, they put together a group of them, and then it becomes an instrument that people trade. And that instrument, if they want to sell that instrument so that they can get the money back to go borrow some more, so give out some more money. Does the Fed buy stocks? It did in 2008. That's true. Don says the more things change, the more things stay the same. It's just they do it differently now. No, I'm not trading right in this range, Robert. You seem to me want me to tell you that I'm trading here. I'm not trading in this low range. I got 08 on top. We did the 93 already, so 84 on the bottom. I'm not trading this back and forth here. So yeah, the Fed does they do buy stocks when they have to, when things are, well, they don't need to buy stocks now. We're at all-time highs, but they did in 2008 when the stock market was crashing, and they made quite a bit of money. And not only that, but on that money that they borrowed and they lent the banks, they made a lot of money on that, and all those MBSs that they did, and they bought all those bonds that they back then that to save that market. They made money on that too. That's what you can do when you have. So they do make money for the Treasury, but you're also, when you do all that stuff, you're expanding your balance sheet, and the balance sheet right now at the Fed is pretty large, and that's a concern because all of this stuff is artificial because the Fed is doing it and not the market's not doing it. But then again, we're living in a crazy time. We're living in a pandemic time, which obviously hasn't happened in over 100 years. And even back when it did happen, the markets back then were a lot different than they are now. It's not a global market like it is today. There's different, when one thing affects the United States, it's going to affect other parts of the world. And it's the world is a lot smaller these days than it used to be back 100 years ago when the last pandemic hit. So we're in a different universe, so to speak, this time around than I think it was before. So they have to do different things. And right now, what they're doing is markets creating a little bit of a increase of a down in bond market, which means higher rates, which is a little starting to concern the market just a little wee bit. So we'll see what happens, but I'm just pointing it out to you. I think this is, I think the start of, start of looking at interest rates is becoming you're still talking about what's the yield on those? 1.3, I think. The yield on the 10 years of 1.3. So it's still relatively low, but still, they were trading at point. I'm trying to remember, 0.80, 0.75, somewhere in that range. All right, we're breaking down here a little bit. Support on the downside. Next support on the downside is down at 84. Could I have guessed that this was going to happen? No. Could I have guessed it was going to go down? No. If you did and you didn't tell me, if you knew and you didn't tell me, I'd be pretty upset. So I didn't know that this was going to happen. I don't know why it's happening at this moment in time, but it's happening. So the next support level we have is down at 84. And this is trading, right? We don't know when the ranges are going to extend one way or the other. I mean, again, we can make a logical call and say maybe you wanted to stay short for a reason. If you felt that way, could say that if there was, but again, it was chopping around. It could have gone either way. It could have easily rallied the same way it went down. We don't know. I mean, if you knew and you didn't tell me, like I said, I'd be kind of upset with you guys. So obviously I'm joking, right? You do know I don't want people to think that I'm really going to be upset with people because you didn't tell me the market was going to go down because I didn't tell you. All right, there's going to be support here at 84. See what happens down there. There's going to be hearings on in Washington in front of the House Financial Services Committee today at 11 Chicago time. Lawmakers will get their chance to grill executives in a hearing focused on short selling, online trading platforms, gamifications, and systemic impact of capital markets and retail investors. Whoa, that's big. Let me repeat that. They're going to have a committee. Finance lawmakers will get their chance to grill executives in a hearing focused on short selling, online trading platforms, gamification, and their systemic impacts on the capital markets and retail investors. You give the tough jobs to people who know. That's a one mouthful there. They're gonna resolve a lot of issues if they figure all that stuff out. Let me tell you. Systemic impact on capital markets and retail investors. Wow. Also making an appearance is Reddit trading star known as Roaring Kitty. Oh, Roaring Kitty, who is credited with helping start the GameStop mania through his actions as being probed by the Massachusetts regulators because he was registered as a securities broker. Interesting. Well, we got down to 86 and change there. We have 84. Backdrop: an army of day traders following Wall Street Bets, the Reddit forum dedicated to making money and being amused while doing it, upended some market dynamics last month by taking aim at some heavily shorted stocks. They ran them up as a group, triggering short squeezes and causing some hedge funds like Melvin Capital to record billions of dollars of losses. The party came to an end after the brokerage's restricted trading on stocks like GameStop, AMC, though Robinhood took most of the flack due to its communications about the events and delay in taking curb off the meme trade. So yeah, look what happened. Everything calmed down. Investors and policymakers alike lambasted the limits, including David Portnoy, Alexandra Cortez, Ted Cruz, a group. That's a group of people on the same side, accusing the trading platform of seeking to protect Wall Street and interests on the expense of small investors. That's not true, but whatever. We need a SEC that has clear rules about market manipulation and has the backbone to get in and enforce those rules, added Elizabeth Warren, a longtime critic to Wall Street. You've got to have a cop on the beat. Robinhood cited clearinghouse requirements as the reason for the stoppage and said it did not have a liquidity problem. Yes, it did. But subsequently raised billions of dollars to reopen trading. Well, that's why it had a liquidity problem, because it had to raise that money. More than half of its customer orders were routed through Citadel Securities, which provided rescue financing to Melvin after the short bet on GameStop went sour in a series of events that prompted a hearing on Capitol Hill. That's confusing to me. I actually understood all of that. And they had to do what they had to do, and it was kind of whatever. We had that discussion already. So we got down to 85. Well, again, HD, if you were going to, then you would have to take a little bit more risk and get in at 83 as well. So there was, you were going to have to scale in a little bit differently and take a little bit more risk if that's what you wanted to do. Obviously, that's not what you want to do. I mean, you're saying that now because it did what it did, right? But you didn't know it was going to do that when it was happening. So, you could say that it was kind of happening, but it happened. It's just, Yeah, what were you going to do? Buy 87s, and when you see the orders at 85? I mean, at what point were you going to scale in is the question. Okay, that would have been fine. That's not a big deal, but now I would have done it. If you see the orders at 85, I would have done 86, 85, 84. But either way, it didn't matter, right? Because we only got down to 6.5 here. But again, your key there is tempted. If you're going to do that, then you have to take them all. So if you're going to be tempted, you're increasing your risk. So your tempting is going to increase your risk for you. And if that's the case, then you have to be prepared to take them all and then see what happens from there, and probably have your stop would probably be down at 80. Still your stop is still going to be around 81. So if you can do all of that and take the stop and handle that loss if it goes all the way down there, then go ahead and do it. If not, then just wait for the 84. And don't worry about being tempted. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, you could use that theory. All right there, Mohammed. Welcome back. The question we had for you, Mohammed, do you have a Skype name or opportunity to get through to you on Skype? All right. So again, we got down to 86 there. We had 84, and we popped back up here a little bit. Right now, resistance would be around the pivot area there at 99. Thanks there, Robert. Stock market versus casino. Well, this should be good. In New York Stock Exchange, ICE officials have not been asked to testify at the upcoming hearing, even though GameStop and AMC and several other meme stocks trade on the exchange. New York Stock Exchange president still has plenty to discuss on the subject, especially after Elizabeth Warren told the SEC that big and small are treating stock markets like a casino. And the recent GameStop chaos revealed a clear distortion in securities markets. That's not true either. The markets are not a casino. They're highly regulated and they have highly overseen. We are running a market that provides opportunity for investors to come in, invest in the companies they believe that are going to grow. They can share in that wealth creation. That's what made this market so great. It is that a dreamer, an entrepreneur with an idea can start a business and grow it by getting others to invest and share in its success. Yeah, I mean, they always seem like they think they got something and they always want to overstep. It's just so annoying. They always, while casinos are highly regulated and overseen, customers cannot build long-term positions on bets of future growth and value appreciation. That doesn't mean gambling doesn't happen in the stock market. In fact, a recent academic research suggests 15.2% of stock market volume is in the United States is associated with lottery stocks. The percentage was determined by looking at volume divided by market cap, then filtering it by remarkably large ratios. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about large ratios. You're talking about Tesla. I told you it was like 1,280 PE. Nobody's complaining about Tesla. I don't know. These people they're just like carried away with that. Let's not go there with that commentary. I gotta keep my mouth shut sometimes. I am a trader after all. Anyway, so crude futures climbed about $61 a barrel, but natural gas rose another 1.8% overnight after Texas Governor Abbott banned sales of the state's natural gas beyond its borders. Among those set to cash and skyrocketing prices are Comcast Resources, which is ahead 4% pre-market trading after climbing 9% on Wednesday. More than 1 million households in the Lone Star State still did not have electricity early Thursday as pipelines remain frozen while the conditions on the roads have delayed repairs. Mexico is even pressing the United States to guarantee natural gas supplies after power was interrupted earlier in the week. All right, so we're rotating back down here. We're coming down here. This 84 is still a doable number. See what it wants to do if it gets back down there. The cold snap tested Texas's high decentralized electricity model, where power plants did not have incentive to build reserves capacity, but are rather paid for energy that they sell. A widespread electricity failure ensued due to the freezing natural gas pipelines, as well as solar and wind generators that went offline due to the weather. High demand overwhelmed the state's grid. The Texas energy mix will likely be reevaluated in the wake of the outage. Yeah, they had this. They were told that this might happen. They only have one one source of. I guess you go down there in Texas only. You're so proud of yourselves that you can handle this by yourself that you only had one source of electricity down there, and you don't share your grid, or you can't get any electricity from other neighboring states. So you don't have a grid that's connected to anybody else, and then all of a sudden this happened, and you're pretty much solo. You Texas people down there, I tell you keep everything to yourselves. Now look what happened. Of course, Don has his own grid on his own. He doesn't need to. He's got his own. He doesn't share his grid with anybody. That's why he still has electricity. He's probably the only person in his area there that has his own electricity grid. They should burn coal. Solar, yeah, I mean, I guess you could have solar. No, they do have solar. They have solar and wind, but the wind turbines froze. And now the guys are blaming the wind because they froze. And it's kind of crazy. Yeah, these people are just trying to blame everybody and everything that comes by because they messed up with their ability to. I mean, they were warned about this a few years ago that this might happen, and they didn't do anything to change it. So whatever electric company that they have down there. Don says that he's got a big stack of firewood, keeping him nice and warm. So he's good. He's a happy camper down there. He's fine. Yeah, a lot of people in Chicago too. My friend of mine put his solar panels up on his house. He's happy as a lark. You know, he sells the extra electricity back to the electric company. That also lowers his cost of putting those panels up there. You get a credit from the government for putting solar panels up there. as we are drifting down here to the 84 area. As soon as I said that, look what happened. I should never have said that. I think you can say that about everybody, Don, that if their internet goes down, everybody, and you're down, everybody's down if the internet goes down. I mean, that's why there's 5G, right? You can get, I mean, technically, I guess you could. You get it hotspot or whatever that thing is. You can somehow get that loaded in. All right, we're trying to come down here to 84. We're stuck here at 85. See what it wants to do down here. If you don't like the way it's trading down here, you want to lighten the load a little bit, you could. There's some good buying coming out there at 85. I'll tell you that much. Yep, there they are. Once they got that buying out of the way, they said, okay, see what it wants to do. So we're in here at 84. See what it wants to do down in here. And again, it's just a matter of being patient, seeing what happens. Again, we never know these things are going to stop or not stop. That's why we have our stops. And just kind of let the market do its thing here and then go from there. I was going to say, if you wanted to lower your entry point because you don't like the way it traded around 85, you could have. Okay, if you take a nice little rotation there off of our 84 level. Nice quick 2-point rotation there. No heat whatsoever. You gotta love those, right? Gotta love those. I like those when you take no heat on these trades. And that time we got filled on everything. What a beautiful thing. That's what happens there, HD. Got a little patient, good things happen for you. Nothing like waiting, being patient and waiting for the market to kind of do what we hope it would do. If you still are long, or if you want to stay long, anything below 83, you're out of any longs there, you can tighten up your stop. See if we can't get this thing to pop up here a little, but only if you have extra contracts, not if you know, not if you're just trading a 1 lot or 2 lot, you're taking your profits. Next level on the downside we have is down at 77. Again, it was just a matter of being patient and waiting for the market to do its thing down here. I got down to 93 and a nice bounce. And I got down here to 84 and I got a nice bounce. And now we continue to downtick here. Next support level we have is down at 77. Again, all we're trying to do is take advantage of ebbs and flows of the market, 2 to 3 point stops, 2 to 3 point targets. That's what we're trying to do here. You get a couple of these trades, of course, a day. No problem. As you can tell, though, the bond market not really reacting too much to this. And they should be going a little bit higher, right? But they're not doing anything. They're on their lows. All right, well, enough of this GameStop stuff because that's, so we know why oil's going up, right? Oil prices of this week have returned to levels not seen before the COVID pandemic, which erupted in early 2020, lockdowns and weakening demand. weighed heavily on the commodity, and crude even went negative in April. Remember that? As storage capacities filled across the globe, prices have been steadily recovering over recent months amid progress with vaccination programs, boosting hopes for economic recovery later in the year and a pickup in oil demand. The recent developments is having Saudi Arabia consider reversing its production cuts that it had in March. The world's largest oil exporter surprised markets last month by unilaterally cutting 1 million barrels a day of crude production in an effort to raise prices. We are in such a better place than we were a year ago, but I must warn once again against complacency, said the prince. The Saudi energy minister told a conference on Wednesday. The uncertainty is very high, and we have to be extremely cautious. All right. All I know is I'm paying more for gas. Well, not that I'm even driving that much, but I mean, I used to fill up like once a day, once a week, maybe sometimes. I mean, I used to drive a lot. Now I've had, maybe I fill up once a month. It's so sad. I don't go anywhere. I am just not, this is so sad. All right, so we got down to 82 and bouncing back up here a little bit. So we're flat now, I think, unless you're still trying to stay long against the 84 area. I don't know. Could be. Some of you could be trying to stay long there. But we had a nice rotation off of that, had a nice rotation off of the 93. Now we have resistance back around the 96 to 98 area. This should be good. NASA's Perseverance rover and Ingenuity helicopter drone, part of the agency's Mars exploration program, they're set to arrive today on the red planet. Wow, how do you like that? The rover is expected to touch down in some kind of crater at 3:55 Eastern time. May soon stand for Earth time. Via a scan crane maneuver, which deploys a parachute before the cables lower the car-sized vehicle into the ground. This is getting cool. I bet my Ferrari gets bad traction in the snow. Well, since you obviously don't have one because you don't drive a Ferrari in the snow, but that's another story. I don't have one either, so let's not get carried away but I wouldn't have one. If I did have one, I wouldn't be driving it in the snow. You're right. Funny, Don. I know what you mean. Somebody has to give me a hard time. Well, telling me my Ferrari has bad traction, it's not giving me a hard time. You know, you just because you made money today and now all of a sudden your headset's working, maybe. Still haven't found that out yet. I just think you were a little nervous about going on with Don last week. I think that's about it. Yeah, you came up with, oh, my daughter put Play-Doh in my headset. Oh, okay. Nobody could argue with you when you said my daughter did anything, then you're, oh, okay, that's fine. That's so cute. I just think you just bailed out on Don. You're right. I'm not gonna let you live that one down till you come on with Don. Yeah, well, he did have mud in his ears, that's for sure. All right. Anyway, so they're going to Mars, and they got this rover and a helicopter. They got stuff going on there on the planet, man. All right there, Robert. Uh, Overtraded today. Early now, -2. Well, can you advise? Can you give? Well, considering you traded that much, um, and you're only down 2 points, I would just the only advice I would say right now is, first of all, you shouldn't have traded that much. But okay, at least first part of recognition that you traded that much is recognizing you traded that much. Second part is try not to trade much tomorrow. Just wait for pick your spots. I told the same advice to somebody this week already, that you have to pick your spots. And going forward right now, I would just trade the levels and try not to trade any price action opportunities that you think you have, especially you, because you keep coming up with like ideas that I'm like, where's he picking that one from? You're trading. I don't know what your reasons are, but your reasons don't jive with mine. So sometimes when you tell me what you're doing, I'm like, okay, I don't know why you're doing it, but okay. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, right? Well, we're picking spots that hopefully, at least we know, give us good opportunities. So be patient, pick your spot, maybe do one more trade. And if you get back to even, great. If not, there's always tomorrow. And come in with a new attitude that you're not going to overtrade. That's half the battle. I don't know. That's my advice, which I don't know you well because you're in Florida. That's the only thing you tell me. And you make sure you remind me of that every time I tell you how cold it is in Chicago. I haven't spoken to you, so, but no, it's okay. But, thanks for reminding me about the warmth in Florida every time I tell you how cold it is around here. Appreciate it. Just like my California friend does the same thing. You guys are nice. You don't have to give an explanation of suns shining because we haven't seen that around here in a long time. You did invite me to play golf. I appreciate that. No, you absolutely did. You're right. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't say you didn't. How can I build a snowman? I have no idea. Remember, I'm not a cold weather person. I just live here. I don't like winter sports. So I can honestly tell you I have not built a snowman. But it start out in a ball and you roll it in the snow. How's that? Listen, just just make sure when you go to the beach, don't get a sunburn, okay? Don's advice, he says, go get a beach ball, cover it with water, and let it freeze. There you go. That's Don's advice to you. Oh, we have plenty of heavy, wet snow in Chicago these days, let me tell you. Don does come up with some good answers, I tell you. He knows how to use your California roots. Get a beach ball. Went right to the beach ball analogy. That's pretty good. Would be fade in 93. Well, I got the resistance at around 96, 98 area. So we're anywhere in that range. They say jumping in the lake in the winter is good for you. Have I done that? Are you crazy? Seriously. Seriously. I mean, whoever told you that idea? They do have these like jump in the lake for like a second things for charity around here. I can proudly say that I'm not that crazy and that I've never done that. So if you want to jump in the lake in the winter, all you got to do is come to Chicago, and I'll drive you there, and I'll even videotape it for you so you can have it for your kids, and then you could show them, and you could say, I took you there. So hey, no, I'm not doing it. Sorry. The Swedes do it all the time. Well, good for them. Good for them. Let's just stick to wearing a nice warm coat, and even then it's not warm. Instead of me trying to find a colder spot for me to freeze over. Nah, thank you. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate the thought. No, I'm not doing any of that stuff. What's wrong with I don't like this stuff. Do you guys understand? I don't like cold weather. I just live here. I appreciate it here. Absolutely. I would give them I would pay you to go in the lake. I'd do that. I'd pay you to go in the lake. All right. So what? I live in Chicago doesn't mean I like the cold weather. I appreciate the cold weather. Let me tell you something. If you live in Chicago, the cold weather makes you appreciate spring and summer. And fall is very beautiful around here. And it's only like, usually it's only like 1 month or 2 months. January and February, probably the worst. And then it gets a lot better. I said the 96 to 98 area. That's where we have some resistance. Right. Thanks there, Mark. Appreciate that. Mark's offering me his guest house, at his estate so that I can, in California. He's very nice, so that I can get away from the cold. Our boy Brad's going to get some nasty weather this weekend. He's got one of these like nor'easterns are coming right up the chute. All right, we're slowly upticking here, looking at some resistance around the 96 to 98 area. All right, just kind of slowly floating back up here. Support down is at the 77 area. A little resistance up here at 96 to 98 area. All right. Whatever makes it happen for you. All right, so if you've just by a quick way of review here, we've had our almost got our upper end of resistance there at 08 triggered, but it got up to 6 and change and then came off. We had a nice rotation back to down to our 93 area and had a nice pop back up. We had a little sale there against our blue band at the 4-5 area earlier on, and a nice rotation off of that. Then we had a little support area here at the 84 and a nice pop off of that. Those are the trades, straight up trades. There are a couple other trades maybe you could have taken if you were a little aggressive. All depends on how much you want to trade. But what we try to do is you want to try to make sure you have reasons to trade, to find these opportunities. Nothing, HD. I'm just taking a safer route with the blue band instead, but there was nothing. Again, it's the same thing like you would have said earlier about your 85. You would have had to do 93, 95, and 96. All of those would have been the right trade. If you did take one, you probably had to take them all. I just took the safer route for the room. What made the market drop today? The concern about interest rates rising is what has put a little bit of fear into the market these days. As the bond market is going to be coming, is going to, I think, become an influence. That's the next thing people, you know how you always got something to lean on when you're looking at the market, you know, COVID, not COVID, the dollar, oil. What's the next thing the market might be looking at? They're looking at the stimulus, not stimulus. You know, the COVID numbers were bad, not bad. All of these things come into play, and so now we might market might be starting to focus more on interest rates here as a little bit of a problem for the market, especially if rates continue to rise. All right, you blue banders, doing really good with that little trade there. All right, now watch blue band. That's the key there. Got right up to the 95 area and then came off. Again, that's some of our traders like to trade the blue band, our religious blue banders. And it's one of those situations where I keep saying, if you're going to trade the blue band, you just don't pick and choose when you're going to do it. You just kind of do it. And I think over the long run, you have to know when to do it, obviously. It's not always a go, especially like in the afternoon trade. Definitely depends on the situation. Again, we focus more on the morning hours, especially if you're overseas and it's kind of dinner time or whatever, the morning hours, and then you can enjoy your dinner the rest of the evening or have the rest of the evening to do whatever you want. I always thought that would be kind of cool, actually, to be on the other side of the pond and kind of trade and then go have dinner, be done in a couple hours, and go have dinner. The blue band is just a Bollinger Band, that's all. Do you know what a Bollinger Band is? Okay. So yeah, it's just a simple Bollinger Band. But we've found a way to use it to our advantage. So we have to be a little bit careful here. And I said 96 to 98 area. Got to be a little bit careful here. the way this is trading right now. I'm not as high as the 96, 98 area anymore like I was a little while ago. I needed it to come in this last move and it didn't. So I have to amend that by saying I don't like that anymore. So let's put it this way. Anything above our pivot 99, you want to be out of any longs, shorts. So if you're going to want to be short, if we get above 99, you want to be out of any shorts. How's that? All right, like I said, if you're gonna do, I don't like the 96, 98 area anymore, but if you're gonna take it anything above 99 out of any shorts, again, if you're gonna be short here, you got to be out of any shorts at the above 99. Well, look at that. Bonds rallying here and S&P's rallying. Oh, gee, what's happening? What's going on? Somebody explain this one to me. All right, we got 96 to 98 area. We talked about some resistance, but like I said, it wasn't as strong of a level as I thought it might be a little bit ago. And if you did get short, I would cover them right in here. Be probably a good spot to cover them, unless you're looking for it to rotate back down. Then, but if you did take the short again, I gave you an exit strategy above the 99. We did not get above 99, so if you did take it with a tight little stop there, you did okay. All right, so nice little trade there. Again, you had a nice little tight stop. If you did partake, I gave you a 90 above 99 out of any shorts. Did get short there. You did all right. All right, there you go, Robert. You got your day back. Nice trade for yourself. Somebody listens to me. Ah, hey, what do you know? It's very hard to sit there and say stuff, and I don't know if people are listening or not. I don't know if they're following or not. It's good to know that you follow. A little bit of money. Oh, I would not get that. I hope you get it. It's coming. It's trying. I would cover them right here if I were you, but that's me. All right. Good trade. Nice trade. Can't complain about that trade. There's an example of being able to take more than 2 or 3 points on a trade. You had your stop. I gave you a tight stop there at 99, so you could find your entry point there and risk the amount of money that you wanted to risk. Sometimes it's easier to go that route, to find your exit strategy first, and then you can find your entry point and risk the amount of money that you want to risk. And try to eke out as much on the profit side as possible. But the bonds rallying and we rally. How about that? It's kind of goofy what's going on there in the bond market right now. All right. So nice trade. We get above 99. I think we hit some stops and maybe, well, we'll definitely go up to the 02, 03 area and maybe even 6, and then maybe hopefully 8. I'd probably look at 9 instead of 8. Just a little bit of an adjustment on the upside if we decide to rotate back up. All right, just kind of hanging here. So just to backstop the interest rates thing that I'm talking about, higher prices and vanishing slim yields on treasury bonds have provided key support for equities and continuation of this rally to new highs. But stung by the expectation for rising inflation, yields have swept higher, with the 10-year benchmark yield touching 1.3% this week, from a little above 0.9% at the start of the year. Already, February is shaping up to provide one of the biggest monthly increases in yields since 2018. That's a pretty big move for almost 3 years now. Investors are now scrambling to identify potential tipping points for equities if interest rates continue to rise. Gotta love the tipping point. The question about the tipping point is, do they all run to the exits at the same time? That's the question about the tipping point. Who knows? To us, as far as traders are concerned, we don't care. We just want volatility and movement so that we can take advantage of ebbs and flows. We don't come in here with any idea of what's going to happen. We're just kind of taking one day at a time, trying to pick your spots, find the opportunities. They're not always going to work out. Just keep that in mind. All right. I mean, we're lucky these last couple of days that most of our trades have been working out okay for us, and we're getting nice rotations off of support levels and or price action opportunities. And hopefully some of you are taking advantage of it. And again, anything that I do, I say, or look at and explain is taught to you as a trader. This stuff is not like no secrets in this. It's pretty straightforward. And what we do here, as far as teaching is concerned, is straightforward. And we try to keep it very simple. I'm a trader who comes from trading in the bond pit, who traded futures, yelling and screaming at people. We kept it simple. We did not keep it complicated. So we try to do the same thing now. Kind of keep it simple, not too complicated. So when we're teaching you stuff straightforward, and it's what we see and read off of charts, and what we think the market might be doing because of the work that we do. And again, any of this stuff interests you, any concepts and ideas that I talk about, or I suggested, like wanting to be short here between 6 and 8, and you have your stop, is all taught. There's a lot of other traders could have found the same areas who've taken our course and been able to trade successfully at that level. Peter, are you in the room? So again, any of this stuff is interest you, or you want to take your trading to another level, just let us know. We can obviously help you out there. Peter, are you around? Okay. Yeah, I'm actually trying to see if Peter's around so I can see if schedule a class. We didn't talk about it at the end of the class Tuesday. I want to see if we can do a class today, but he's obviously not in the room right now. We'll ask him a little bit later. Let's see one more. So again, so now we're a little range bound here. Still, anything above 99. Probably don't. You definitely don't want to be short anymore. Maybe it'll rally. We get below. Let's say if we get below 86, we might go retest the lows. Peter, are you in the room? All right, so we have our parameters. Upside 99, we probably rally above 99. Downside, we get below 86. Maybe we'll retest the lows or even go lower. Right here in the middle is a no trade zone. Like I said earlier, we had a few nice opportunities here today with our levels, as well as some of the price action opportunities that we've had. And hopefully you were able to take advantage of some of these trades. We the reason that I'm asking, when we do our classes, we have them in this venue, and we do them with live charts, and we do them in the afternoon. Like it's 10 o'clock right now, 10:13 Chicago time. So we do them at around 12 to 1 o'clock. And we use live charts to help us with the explanation of the setups and what we're looking for. So we coordinate our classes with the live charts to help explain things better. That's why I'm asking some of our traders in who are part of the course. So we do it live here on in a couple hours, so that we can take advantage of the charts at the market, live charts that we had, and we can also explain today that what we were looking at, what trades we were looking for, so on and so forth. I think Brad is like stuck at home. He's outside like shoveling snow or something. Gotta be careful what that ticker is. All right, again, look like it wants to rally here a little bit, getting above trying to get above 99. Still hasn't done so. But if we do rally here, we'll look for a push higher. Like I said, probably 03, 04, and then maybe possibly the 6, or even we have 8, but look at the adjusted maybe a little bit up to 9. but obviously here I have a little long bias now, as before we had a little short bias, but we've changed our bias based on price action. All right, again, said I want to get along there above the 99. If you're doing that, you get paid off here. Getting a nice rotation here. Looking for well, you got 2 points right now, so hopefully you're able to take advantage of this little move up here, quickly take some profits, and then look for a continuation rally a little bit higher. Again, we kind of switched hats here. We were trying to be short earlier, but now because of the market and the way the price action is, we're looking for a push higher. Hopefully take some profits. Like I said, you got to take profits along the way, especially if we bought the 99s, it came up here to 01, you take some profits and then leave whatever is left over for a push to the 3-4 area, and even, like I said, the rest of it. But you lock yourself some profits, and then that way it doesn't matter. All right, Mark, you take it easy. You have a good one too. Peter, are you in the room? One last time, I'm going to ask him. He's busy. Now, well, you go and enjoy the beach and have your lunch on the beach with Ava, and tell her she's going to get a box of Play-Doh at some point. No, Peter, not yet. I can't find him. He is a doctor. He's busy. He's saving lives. Not like you and me. What do we do? All right. Yeah, you know what? It's staying above. I think it wants to rally, but I don't know. But hopefully we're able to take some profits off of that little quick move up to almost 02. Doctor for financial health and well-being. Oh, that could be. All right, if anybody has any questions, good time to ask. We're going to take a little bit of a break here. We focus more on the morning hours, like I said earlier, to help us with the opportunities. I think we get good price action movements during those times. The late afternoon trade becomes a little bit more skittish, more one-sided, tough, difficult to trade. But the morning hours do give us a good bang for our money, so to speak, and so consequently, we focus more on that. We've had three, four, depending on how aggressive you are, maybe 5 different opportunities here for us to trade. Short side, long side. We've done both sides of the market, and that's what scalpers do. They're looking for opportunities on both sides of the market. We don't have a bias. We try not to trade with the bias. It's not healthy for us to trade with the bias. Consequently, we're looking for the opportunities to either get long or short based on the price action movements of the trade of the market. Sometimes it's straightforward, sometimes it's a little bit trickier, but whatever the situation is, we're always trying to find these levels for you. Anything that I talk about, if you want to ask a question about what I'm doing or how I'm doing things, please do. But we also have a education course that teaches you anything that I say verbally here. You learn about them and figure out what the markets are. We try to explain to you some areas that the markets might rotate off of to give us a scalping opportunity. We do this on an everyday basis. So if you have any interest in learning, please let us know. Type your question or type your contact information in the chat box area, and we'll get back to you. It's probably the easiest way for us to let you know any information regarding our education course. So let us know. Type contact information in the chat box area, and I'll get back here in a bit.
Hey, quick shout out to Mohammed. Hey, Mohammed, are you back? Let me know in chat, Mohammed. And Uzi, let me know if you're back, Uzi. Hey, Mohammed, did you just wanted to make sure you got the right pricing when you join the family? I also have to roll you over so that you get the same pricing going forward. And Uzi, the same. Just let me know back in chat that you signed up to be part of the family. And then I'll also add you to the rollover also. So instead of paying $379 when it rolls over, you'll pay $100. And you can cancel anytime. It's up to you. You're going through PayPal, it's under your control. Let me know if you need me to send it out to you again. I'm just sending it out in the chat feature in Zoom. For those that are joining us on the outside, join us on the inside. Look for the link or you can go to www.pitiq.tv, PITIQ.tv.